Samsung just did something I honestly didn't expect with the Galaxy Z Fold 8. For years, the Fold lineup has been getting thinner and lighter, but the basic idea stayed the same: a tall outer screen that opens into a tablet. This year, Samsung changed the formula. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 is shorter, wider, lighter, and it feels like a very different kind of fold. At nearly $1,900 though, there's one big question. Did Samsung finally make a foldable practical enough for everyday use? Let's find out. The first thing you notice is the shape. Folded, the Z Fold 8 feels more like a compact passport than a traditional smartphone. Samsung gives you a wider 5.5-inch Dynamic AMOLED 2 X-cover display with an adaptive 1 to 120 Hz refresh rate. And that wider shape actually changes the experience. Reading feels more natural because you get longer lines of text. Photos have more room, social feeds feel less cramped, and you can still reach across the screen with your thumb. But typing is different. The shorter display means the keyboard takes up more vertical space. So coming from a normal Galaxy phone, there is a small learning curve. But the real reason to buy a Fold is what happens when you open it. You get a 7.6-inch Dynamic AMOLED 2 X inner display with 120 Hz adaptive refresh. YouTube videos are dramatically larger than on a normal phone, reading feels closer to using a mini tablet, and supported games can use much more of the screen. Multitasking is also a major advantage. You can run multiple apps, move windows around, and actually use the extra display instead of simply stretching a phone interface. Not every app is perfect though. Some social apps can still look awkward on the wider inner screen, so software optimization still matters. Brightness is excellent. Both displays can get extremely bright, with peak measurements going above 3,000 nits in small areas. Outdoors, that makes a real difference. Samsung also uses an anti-reflective treatment on the inner display to reduce glare. And yes, the crease is still here. You can see it and feel it, but it's less distracting than older Fold generations. The inner display is also reinforced with flexible titanium layers, while the exterior uses premium materials and Gorilla Glass protection. The hinge has been refined too. Opening feels smoother, especially during the first part of the movement. And then there's the weight. The Fold 8 comes in at just 201 grams. For a phone that opens into a 7.6-inch display, that is seriously impressive. You also get IP48 protection, although this still isn't a fully dust-proof phone. So Samsung clearly changed the Fold. Now the question is, did they change what's inside? Inside the Galaxy Z Fold 8, Samsung went straight for flagship performance. You get the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy, the same high-end platform used in Samsung's top-tier devices. In everyday use, the Fold 8 feels extremely fast. Apps open quickly and multitasking feels effortless. Gaming is another area where the big inner display makes sense. You get more room for controls and a larger view of the action. But there is a catch. A very thin foldable has less room to manage heat than a traditional phone, so sustained heavy workloads can expose the thermal limits of the design. Storage options include 256 gigabytes, 512 gigabytes, and up to 1 terabyte with up to 16 gigabytes of RAM on the highest configuration. Then there's One UI 9 on Android 17. Samsung is putting a lot of attention on Galaxy AI, but the interesting part is that the AI is becoming more contextual. One example is Now Nudge. Instead of simply answering a question, the phone can understand what you're doing and suggest a useful next action. Then there's Photo Assist, which lets you make AI-powered edits, while the huge inner display gives you plenty of room to inspect the result. Battery life comes from a 4,800 mAh cell. Considering the inner display, endurance is respectable and the cover screen can stretch it further. The bigger upgrade is charging. Samsung finally moves to 45-watt wired charging, up from 25 watts on previous Fold generations. With a compatible charger, you can get roughly 2/3 of the battery back in around half an hour. It isn't class-leading, but it's a meaningful improvement. Now cameras, this is where things get complicated. The Fold 8 has a 50-megapixel main camera and a 50-megapixel ultra-wide, but there is no dedicated telephoto camera. At almost $1,900, that's hard to ignore. Daylight photos from the main camera are good, detail is solid, colors are typical Samsung, and dynamic range is generally strong. The ultra-wide is also capable, and the foldable design gives you some creative shooting options. You can even use the rear cameras for selfies with the cover display acting as a viewfinder, and that can produce better selfies than the dedicated front cameras because you're using the stronger rear hardware. But once you zoom in, the missing telephoto becomes obvious. Samsung is clearly saving the more advanced camera hardware for the Z Fold 8 Ultra, so the cameras are good, but they are not the main reason to buy this phone. And that's a strange compromise on such an expensive device. Samsung has given us an incredible display, flagship performance, useful AI, and a much better form factor. But then it leaves us with one obvious question. Is the regular Fold 8 actually the Fold you should buy? This is where the Galaxy Z Fold 8 gets really interesting. Samsung now gives you two Fold models. The regular Z Fold 8 starts at $1,899, while the Z Fold 8 Ultra costs more and gives you a larger display, a bigger battery, and a more advanced camera system with a dedicated telephoto. If cameras are your #1 priority, the Ultra makes more sense. But I actually think the regular Fold 8 is the more interesting phone. Why? Because Samsung focused on making it easier to live with. At 201 grams, it's surprisingly light for a device that turns into a 7.6-inch tablet-style screen. And that wider cover display changes the personality of the phone. Messages, browsing, reading, and social media feel more natural than they did on the tall, narrow Fold design. Then when you need more space, you simply open it. That's the magic of a foldable. You don't have to choose between carrying a phone or a small tablet. You get both in one device. Samsung also pushes that idea with multitasking and DeX, but the compromises are real. There's no S Pen support. The regular Fold 8 has no dedicated telephoto camera, and some of the more advanced foldable features are reserved for the Ultra. IP48 is useful, but it isn't the same protection you get from a conventional slab phone. And then there's the price. Almost $1,900 is serious money. At that point, the Fold 8 is competing with Samsung's best traditional phones, iPhones, tablets, and even laptops. So who should actually buy it? If you want a huge screen without carrying a separate tablet, multitask constantly, watch tons of video, use Samsung's ecosystem, or simply want something different, the Fold 8 makes a strong case. But if you mainly care about cameras, long-range zoom, charging speed, or getting the most hardware for your money, I'd think twice. Because the Fold 8 isn't perfect, and honestly, it doesn't need to be. The biggest story here isn't another faster chip or another camera upgrade, it's the shape. Samsung made the Fold shorter, wider, and lighter, and that sounds like a small change until you actually use it. For me, that's what makes the Galaxy Z Fold 8 interesting. It's starting to feel less like a phone that happens to fold, and more like a device designed around the reason you would actually want a foldable. The final question is simple. Is that experience worth $1,899? If you genuinely want a phone and tablet in one device, the Z Fold 8 is one of Samsung's most complete foldables yet. But if you don't need that flexibility, a normal flagship will still give you better value. So, would you spend almost $1,900 on the Galaxy Z Fold 8? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe for more honest tech reviews, and I'll see you in the next one.